What's that?
Have you heard about this Derrick Rose rule?
No, what's that? Oh yeah. The you mean people who exceed their rookie contract when
Yeah.
they can go above the max deal. Yeah.
Yeah, they saying if the boy Anthony Davis don't make since he wasn't voted to the starting, he has to either be MVP or make all NBA or lose 23 mil.
Oh, off his deal.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. Nothing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna bring that up at the end so we can chop it up about that. All right, you ready to get started?
Yep. Let's go.
All right, let me just this.
Where did you see that Anthony Davis article at?
It was on Twitter, but it's from one of
Okay.
the official accounts, so it
Okay.
seemed legit. All right, let's rock. What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all tuned into the Illa Sports Podcast out here in these streets. Numbers on your board. Damn, let me do that again. I said numbers on your board. It's been a wild night, man. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you about my day yesterday, man.
All right.
All right. What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all tuned into the Illa Sports Podcast out here in these streets. Numbers on the board. Holding it down. Your man Killer, my man Big Fish. What's up, big guy?
What's going on, baby? How you feeling?
Man, let me tell you this, man. And you know, normally I like to get right into it. I'm one of them dudes who I want to hear people podcasts and hear about all that stuff, but it's gonna be one of the few days I'm a shit. Dog, yo, you know out here in DC, it was a little snow yesterday, right?
Yep.
Dog, I left my job at 7:50. Okay?
Okay.
What time you think I got in the crib?
10:30.
Keep going.
Damn. Midnight.
Keep going.
2:00.
Keep going, brother.
You might as well turn around and went back to work. 4:00.
Now I got in the crib at 3:30, bro.
All right,
I was sitting in that car from 7 to 3:30.
So just so our audience has an idea, on a typical night, how long does it take for you to get home?
35 minutes.
So a 35-minute normal commute took 8 hours.
Took 8 hours, babe.
That's
Because
enough.
It was so icy outside. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, yo, we were like in standstill, just stuck. It got so hectic around 1:00. Dudes just got out their cars and just started chopping it up.
Yeah.
And 18 degrees outside, but we were so tired of being in our cars all night that it was like, well, hell, we might as well chop it up just out here.
I gotta ask you, and I ask this to all my DC folks, all my San Francisco peoples, all my New York peoples. Why do you live there? We gotta potentially deal with stuff like that, man.
Dog, I'm trying to get. I never had to deal with anything like this. I've never seen anything like this in my life, man. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I mean, you know, it was hectic. You know, the good thing is we got the new whip, we got the new Altima. So me and that car bonded last night, man. We had some good time. Like, you know, I just hooked up my little jump drive, so I had like 8,000 CDs on there. So I'm
yeah.
You know, playing with the nav system, even though I wasn't going nowhere. You know, so
but you know
thank
what?
God.
Yeah, thank God for technology. Because remember, think about how that ride would have been 10 years ago. You'd have had, you know, no internet, you know, no flash drive, no nothing. It would just been you and your emotions for 8 hours in that car.
You would whatever CD you had in the car, hoping that you had something down for 8 hours.
And thank God you had gas.
Yeah,
you know
I gotta thank God. But you know the funny thing, bro, and it's amazing because I ain't the most optimistic dude in the world. Throughout the whole night, bro, I was just thankful, man. I was thankful I had gas. I was thankful I had heat. There was a lot of cars that, you know, were abandoned. I guess they ran out of gas or whatever. You know, his cats walking on the side of the highways. And,
yeah.
And not for nothing, man. I think they said it was like 150 accidents last night. So I was just, blessed. That's the last thing you want to do is get a new whip on Tuesday and then crashing on Wednesday.
Man, I remember my first car I got was 9100 Accord with 90,000 miles. Snow White. I loved it, man. First day I brought the joint home, messing with the boy Aaron, a couple 40s, drinking too much. Went to park it in the driveway, scraped it up on the pole, man. First day I had it. So I know that feeling all the way.
Let's jump right into it. You already know what I'm coming at you with.
What are you coming at me with?
It is documented from either our first show or the last show we did that once the Cavaliers got back to their full strength, that they were gonna put it down on the Warriors.
Yeah.
Now I'm watching the Duke Syracuse game, and you text me like Curry's on fire. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. I'm watching college ball now, and I turn to it, and we up 40 points. So please explain to me what happened, because what Golden State did, what my squad did, what my peoples did was they came over here on the East Coast. These niggas did what the Dog Pound did. They went to New York and was knocking down buildings. So we went to Cleveland, smacked them down by 34, and then went to Chi-Town and slapped them down by 31. Well, what's going on?
Oh man, so look here. I must admit, from the door, I thought when the team got back healthy, you get back Kyrie, you get back Shumpert, you get back in the flow, that the Cavs is going to be that competitive team. Being as though they went through what they went through, I was wrong, I'm fastly approaching that point where Golden State's for real. I know you their number one fan club. I know you're on their payroll on a sneak. You just ain't telling nobody yet. I know you shouting them out on Twitter and Tumblr and everything else. But look, the most fascinating thing about that game was, here's a game where the Cavs won 132-98, a 34-point victory. And when you comb through the box score, the one thing that struck me as odd, Kill, is nobody in their starting lineup played more than 30 minutes except for Draymond Green. It really could have been a 60-point beatdown, you know what I mean? So
definitely didn't play the fourth quarter. So,
and the one thing that was amazing to me is as Cleveland began to lose their composure. So when J.R. Smith had the hard foul, when LeBron threw Curry to the floor, Golden State wasn't phased, man. They never got out of character. They know they're not that team to push back and fight. They don't have rough riders like that. They don't have those Charles Oakley on their roster that's going to keep kind of everybody in line. I mean, at the end of the day,
Draymond Green remind me of that type dude.
I mean, I guess he's the closest thing to it, but I mean, Draymond Green ain't that guy. I mean, look here, he doing his thing. He's not going to go in the pantheon of the Charles Oakleys and Barkleys and those type of enforcers. But you're right. For Golden State, he's that guy. But the poise by which they played, the composure by which they played, the fact that they came to the stadium talking about, I can still smell the champagne. They throwing jazz, and they didn't shriek for the moment. They went out and beat you by 40, easy. It could have been a 60-point win. So I'm fastly approaching the point that, and I know we're gonna jump into the Bulls game as well. At this point, the way it's shaking right now, it doesn't matter who come out the East. I think whoever comes out the West is winning it. Period.
Right.
Point blank. Between the Spurs or Warriors, whoever comes out of that series is going to be the NBA champion.
And I mean, to be honest, it really ain't much to say more about the Bulls than my people did what they had to do. They just put a smackdown on
They put a smackdown on them, and I'm really starting to think that Cleveland, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I know you're not a big Kevin Love fan. I know you've been down on Kevin Love. He just doesn't fit with this team for whatever reason. I thought the stretch four in that lineup would be a good blend. He just doesn't fit. So I think they're approaching that point where they need to make that move. Reach out to Sacramento for Boogie Cousins. They need to do something to shake that mix up. He's not the answer there, and his defensive liabilities is just glaring. I mean, Draymond Green and whoever they pin him on was just abusing him. I mean, he can't play pick and roll defense. He can't play help defense. The boy can't do shit. So it's about that point. They need to make a move. So, on this one topic, I take my hat off to you. I bow down to you. You were right.
Now tell me this, because I gotta keep this rolling. Draymond Green, I told you a month ago, 2 months ago, he's a top 10 NBA player. Do you agree now?
All right, let's run it down real fast. And in no particular order. You got LeBron, you got Curry, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Chris Paul, you got Anthony Davis. You got
Kevin.
Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook.
Yo, dude, don't say Andre Drummond's name before no. Don't do
Andre,
That's
Andre Drummond.
don't do that, man. This dude just missed like 400 free throws last night, bro. Don't.
That's just one. That's just one aspect of his game. Think about how many other ways he impacts.
Still, what we on 7-8? Draymond is a top 10 player, bro.
Paul George.
Okay, I'm not even sold on the Chris Paul, but okay, Draymond Green is a top 10 player, bro.
Blake Griffin.
Man, come on, man, stop that, man.
All right, how about this? How about Ish Smith, point guard for the Sixers?
He did for the Sixers. I'm about to sit him down so we can get this #1 draft pick. This nigga messing around winning games for us, man.
Yeah, it's amazing what a competent point guard does for you. It's just truly amazing what a competent point guard does for you, man.
You want to know a competent point guard going to keep us from getting the #1 pick for like the 4th year in a row.
I'll tell you what, man. The Sixers get Ben Simmons, Embiid coming back. Embiid's looking amazing. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be different in the city.
Embiid is dumb, man. I don't even count dude no more, man.
Yo, I need the.
You know what Embiid is like? Embiid is like you and your girl from high school. Y'all go to 2 separate colleges, and you just hoping she gonna be faithful. She ain't gonna be faithful, dog. She going. You going too. So I can't even hope on Embiid. That's like the hope of, okay, me and my girl, she in Atlanta, I'm in Philly, and we gonna be faithful to each other for 4 years. Not gonna happen.
Bro, I don't need her to necessarily be faithful. I just need her to not come back pregnant. Not come back pregnant, that's the win, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the win right there. You know what I mean? So just don't come back pregnant. So I just need Embiid to come back. We just need to get him on the court in a uniform. I mean, there's other issues that we need to talk about with the Sixers. Like I said, we can do that another day. But definitely getting back to the topic at hand.
So Draymond is a top 10 player, correct?
He's a top 15 player.
Oh, come on, man.
He's a top 15 player. He's a top 15 player. He's a solid player.
All right.
But speaking of top 5, top 10 lists, I don't know if you've been following ESPN, but they've been having their top 10 at each position.
Mm-hmm.
This week they came out with the ESPN top 10 point guard list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read this list off to you. Okay, I'm gonna read this list off to you.
I've seen it, and I talked about my displeasure about it, but you can read the list to me.
Magic Johnson, no question. Oscar Robertson, no question.
Right.
John Stockton, no question.
This is the problem starts. No, right there. John ain't number 3, but okay.
Okay, and we can argue with that.
Right.
Steph Curry, number 4.
All right.
Now I'm going to read you some of the names after
Steph Curry.
I'm
number 5.
I'm going to read you one name
important.
after Steph Curry. Isaiah Thomas.
All right.
Arguably the best little man of all time.
That right there, of course, him. Some may say Tiny, some may say AI.
Yep.
That right there, Curry doesn't belong on that list. And you know I'm the biggest Curry fan in the world, but at the end of the day, whether I rock with you or not, it don't that's not fact, B. You can't have Steph Curry above Zeke. That don't even make no sense right there. Stockton shouldn't be ahead of Zeke. The only reason why Zeke wasn't on that Olympic squad was because that beef with Jordan. And whatever. So Stockton shouldn't even really been on that squad like that. But nah, to me, this is the NBA. This is what the NBA and I think ESPN has concocted to get old dudes like us to move on, is to say, hey, here's the new dude. There's just no way that Steph just catapulted to the top 5 of point guard. Out of nowhere.
Yep.
Like, it can't happen. You know what I mean? It don't even make sense. But to me, it's the same thing ESPN and NBA like to do. Like, who better, LeBron or Jordan? They're really be doing shows about this because they want us to forget about Jordan, be reintroduced to LeBron as the new ambassador so we could stop being stuck on Jordan. That's what they trying to do with Steph. They trying to say, yo, forget about all these other point guards. Steph Curry is a top 5 point guard. I mean, you ain't even got Steve Nash there, the boy who's schooling. You ain't got the sensei who's in Golden State working with the boy. Y'all got him above him. Like, that make no sense, man. You know,
the great Magic Johnson summed it up best. He's tweeted out ESPN ranked the top 10 point guards of all time, and they have Isaiah Thomas ranked 5th. There's no way Stockton and Curry are better than Isaiah. And he followed it up with a few more tweets. Look here, I know part of the game is a projection. You're projecting what his career is going to be. But he's so early into that career to project it out is a little short-sighted. Bottom line, it's a little short-sighted. I think a player, if he was in his 10th year and had a 5 or 6 year run like this, maybe that projection is a little bit better. I mean, Chris Paul has a longer resume. He's an 8, 9, 10 year veteran. There's a lot more body of work there. But for Curry, come on, man. Isaiah, no way. No way. Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. But like I said, I know you know Curry's #1 fan. I know you can't wait for his reality show. You're probably going to be the executive producer and a ghostwriter on it. So I know these things are going to happen, but that's just crazy, man. It just can't be. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Walt Frazier, Bob Cousy. I mean, these are iconic names. Like, you just say the name, say no more.
Right.
You just say the name, say no more. I mean, like I said, I think sometimes these writers need to put on NBA Classic and look at those bad boy Detroit teams and look what Zeke did. You know what I mean? Sometimes history gets a little distorted in the here and now.
But you know what the problem of the game is, man, is that when everybody's in each other's pocket, you know what I mean? Like, these writers to me can't even be taken serious. It's almost like payola with the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I first got on the radio, my boss stepped to me and he slid me a nice little envelope and said, "Yo, make sure you play this song every hour for the next 5 hours."
Yep.
You know, and to me, it's the same thing with these writers, you know, because there's no way that anybody who works at ESPN could, you know, in their own mind vote and say that Steph Curry is a top 5 point guard. Like, for you to say that, to me, that's one of those things where I'm like, you know what, bro? I can't talk sports with you no more. Like, when people say things like, yo, I've had people tell me, yo, Allen Iverson is the greatest basketball player ever. And I'm like, you know what, bro? I can't talk sports with you no more.
Yeah.
Because you obviously don't know. You don't know sports. You could say he's your favorite player. You could say maybe he's the best player of a certain amount of years for a certain time period. But for you to tell me that Allen Iverson is the best basketball player ever, dog, I can't talk to you. So it's hard for me to believe that these people who are at ESPN and their job is to know all the stats, to me, that's somebody padding their pocket saying, yo, I need you to slip Curry in that top 5 somewhere so we can get his name out here moving and grooving. So, I mean, the game is always about, like, who you know, who you can put that money. Because, I can't believe anybody who has watched the game of basketball, whether you are an ESPN expert or you're just a casual basketball fan, could say Steph Curry is a top 5 point guard of all time and above Jason Kidd, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash, Bob Cousy. I can't see that.
Yeah, you know, and I agree 100%. And also the other thing you got to bring up is I understand a beat writer being a little bit more biased who covers a particular team, because in order for him to do his job, he needs access, and he gets access to players. So I get that. But national columnists, things like that, you don't have to be, you know, so coddled to today's stars. You know what I mean? Yo,
Right.
call it what it is. Steph is a great young player. And, you know, in time, he may be there. But to put him on the list and to put him at 4 is blasphemy. Just blasphemy.
And then I think the other question is, too, is how are you defining point guard? You know, if you're defining point guard as someone who made teammates better, a la John Stockton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, you know, where players who played with them when either they went to another team or that point guard left, their numbers fell off. That's, to me, that's how some people may define point guard. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, to me, Curry necessarily, I don't know if he's making players better with his pass. I mean, I think at certain time of point, we kind of have to, you know, come up with, you know, he's a great guard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know if, you know, if Klay Thompson goes to another team, now he can't hit threes. You know what I mean? Or like that. So if you're looking at the definition of point guard like that, I don't think Steph will ever be a top 10 point guard if that's your definition of a point guard, which, you know, necessarily is mine. I can't, you know, I grew up on the Bad Boys, but I can't sit back and say Isaiah made all these people around him better the way Magic Johnson did, Jason Kidd, John Stockton, etc. So, you know, again, cats with different definitions of the same word, but nah, man, that's I don't get that at all. But let me ask you this: you got like we talked about a little bit with the Cavs, so you feel like they need to make a change to get to this chip game. So your change is Kevin Love. Get rid of Kevin Love, even though you just signed him to this crazy deal. Is somebody going to take this dude? First of all, I don't like Kevin Love. I've never liked him, and now that he looks like Ben Stiller in dodgeball, I really don't like him now. Who would even take Kevin Love? I mean, we all have seen he's not that good. He's not worth $100 million. So who's taking him? Like, can you get rid of Kevin Love?
There's every contract is tradable. I mean, with the salary cap set to explode this coming year with the new TV money, some projections as much as $30 million, $35 million additional money to cap. His contract isn't even going to be that bad in the new economic landscape. You know what I mean? So his contract isn't that arbitrage anchor hanging around somebody's neck. So someone looks at him. So you got to think about some of the suitors for him before. I could definitely see Boston making a trade for him. You know, I could see him going to Boston, being that stretch four, filling that role. You know, he'll go back to a situation where he's the unquestioned star on the team because that's when he's had most success. Although for a loser in Minnesota, he was the unquestioned center point of that team, and he flourished in that role. He just has not flourished in Cleveland's system. I mean, playing with for LeBron, it takes a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because he dominates the ball, he dominates the offense, he dominates the flow. He's the coach, he's the general manager, he's the water boy. You know what I mean? He's the head of marketing. He's everything out there. So I think when you look at a team like Boston, maybe you can trade for him. You know, maybe one of the teams out west. In the NBA, when these execs always think they can fix somebody. It's like the woman with the man who
Right.
8 prison stints, 14 kids, but she think she can make him a good husband and a good
Right.
homemaker. You know what I mean? So there's always some GM out there who's saying, you know what, I can fix him. A change of scenery, different situation. He'll come here, he'll flourish. So I think there are some opportunities out there. And also, you got to look at teams who also have disgruntled stars and try to work out a deal that way. So I think you're definitely not going to trade Kyrie. You're definitely not going to move him. I mean, you can move some of the supplementary parts like Shumpert. Uh, I know they would love to move Mozgov if they could, a piece like that. But I think the move that they need to make is Kevin Love. I wish they would have walked away from re-signing him, especially re-signing him to a max contract. But I guess they felt like they had to in that situation. So, excuse me, they did what they thought was best for the organization. But I really thought they should have let him walk and see what happens. So you never know.
And I mean, the Cavs are just a bunch of nuts, man. They a nut ass squad. You got nut ass J.R. Smith. You got cross dressing Shumpert. You got Kevin Love looking like I said, my man from Dodgeball. Tristan Thompson ain't balling this year like that. And you got Brown, who's so rich he don't know if he want a hairline or not. To me,
Yo,
on top of that, they don't even. You see the joint where Kevin Love fell down, they ain't even help him up. I mean, Kevin Love photoshopped himself into a picture because they always leave him. I mean, it's a disgruntled nut ass team. Like,
yeah.
Maybe they get through the East, but I mean, what Golden State did to them, like, I don't understand. And I mean, I commend them for being able to get past that, because that was one of those. I don't know if you remember when Duke was down to Maryland, like something like Maryland was like up 10 points with like a minute left, and they came and Duke came back and Maryland lost their game in overtime, and Maryland just went on this downhill slump because it's like, I mean, I commend the Cavs for bouncing back. I mean, I know they played Brooklyn the next night, so that's really not too hard to bounce back from. But, it's like, dog, we just got stomped in our house from people talking shit to us all night.
But here's the thing, dog. No one cares about what happens. I mean, this is the NBA. What do people always say? The NBA has an 82-game preseason. It's all about the playoffs. It's all about the playoffs. So, people aren't going to forget. You don't want to be playing your best ball in January. You want to be playing your best ball in April. So get the April, get the May, June finals time. All's forgotten. You're healthy. You got Kyrie with 40 games under his belt playing all-star level basketball.
Until he
gets hurt. But look here, the one thing you hit on, they do got a bunch of nut-ass characters on their team. No dudes I want to hang out with. I mean, LeBron, definitely LeBron's the man. You know what I mean? So, but I think in the East they still have enough talent. LeBron is obviously the unstoppable force.
I
So
mean,
they
I feel like they're gonna Brody through the East, but I mean that ain't saying much. Like, you know what I mean?
did
That's
that.
like if you that ain't saying nothing. But
Yeah.
peep this. I was watching First Take, and Stephen A. Smith was beefing about David Blatt, saying like he's just standing on the sidelines, not knowing what to do. He can't really instruct these dudes. And I was like, well, I thought Brown was the coach. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like running joke that LeBron is the coach of this squad, and now Cats is trying to get on David Blatt, like, yo, you need to coach the squad, you know, come up with something, y'all getting stopped. So, number one, who's the coach? And if it is Brian, then is it up to Brian to say, hey, you know, we can't do this on the pick and roll? Like, how is Brian allowing his squad in his city? Like he say on a commercial, we got to bring one home for the land. I swear that's a corny ass nigga, but neither here nor you know. But who's the coach? Who is supposed to? Let me ask you that. Who's the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers?
the coach of Cleveland Cavaliers is LeBron James, unquestionably. This is
Okay.
this is Blatt's last year. I think the organization would have fired him last year, but they didn't. They figured they'd give it a test run. You got to remember, ultimately, they signed Blatt before they knew LeBron was coming back.
Right.
So if they knew they were getting LeBron, Blatt 99% would not have been the hire. The bottom line is Mark Jackson will be on that sideline come next October.
All right.
Whenever the NBA season kicks off, Mark Jackson is on that sideline running the show in Cleveland. Book it here first. So
All right.
before Stephen A. Smith, before David Aldridge, before Broussard, and all these guys, mark it down.
All right. I hear that. Now let me
Mark,
ask you this: we got
yep.
Chip Kelly in San Francisco. I was shocked that this dude got a job that quick. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that hire in San Fran? Because I think it's the dumbest thing ever. I got a whole bunch of San Fran cats on my timeline on Twitter, and I'm like, yo, dude is a cancer, man. Like, dude did not learn his lesson, in my opinion, of anything in Philly. And I bet money that anybody black on that team is not excited. I don't think there are any players, including Kaepernick and San Fran, who are excited about this hire.
Well, I agree with 90% of what you said. I do disagree with the last point. I think without a shadow of a doubt, players can be excited. I mean, when you look at the reality of his tenure in Philadelphia, when you look at it over the past 20 or so games, it was not good at all. They faded down the stretch last season, totally imploded this season, a total disaster. Uh, the thing is, you have to ask yourself: is Chip Kelly the coach by himself? Okay, because clearly Chip Kelly, the GM, was a disaster. So taking Chip Kelly just as a coach, the coach of roster, where Colin Kaepernick is signed to this $112 million contract, and you want to try to, if you can, rekindle what you had under Jim Harbaugh. I think from that perspective, it was worse. It was worth a review. The key in all of this, is Tom Gamble. Tom Gamble was running the situation out there. Well, he's not running the situation, but he's an influential member of management in San Francisco. Chip Kelly was Tom Gamble's quote unquote football guy here in Philadelphia that Howie Roseman let go. So Howie Roseman lets him go. He goes out to San Francisco, latches on with their player personnel department, and he recruits Chip over. You brought up a great point though, Kill. You said, how can this dude learn? He literally was fired from the Philadelphia job and was hired and got a new job before Philadelphia hired their own coach. He was making $6.5 million here in Philly. He was making $6 million there. So pretty much he didn't even lose no income. So I hear his press conference and he's so full of shit. He's talking about, I never wanted player personnel control in Philadelphia. Bullshit. He made a play for it. He's talked about, how Philadelphia is so great and how he got all these text messages and phone calls from players. Bullshit. He probably got one text from one guy, Jason Kelsey. That's it. I mean, the guy, he's a liar. He's a control freak. And I don't think his systems and style are situated for the NFL. The NFL caught up to him in 18 games, Gil. 18 games, they caught up to what he was doing. He needs to go back to college, go to Texas, go to USC, go to one of those jobs. Excuse me. What he does in college works. It's not going to work in NFL. It's not
All
going to
right.
work in NFL. Anytime you put your quarterback in harm's way that much, when your quarterback isn't named Cam Newton and is 6'5", 260 pounds, it's not going to work.
All right. All right. I hear that.
It's not going to work. Not going to work. Not going to work at all. So let's switch gears a little bit here. What's going on with college basketball? I know college basketball is near and dear to your heart. Why can't any of these number one ranked teams stay number one?
You know,
What's the deal?
I mean, to be honest with you, man, and it was probably only a couple of weeks ago where I was saying I'm done with college ball, man. I'm back. I'm back. I love it.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, he was like, college basketball is over. I can't take it.
You know what I had to do, bro? I had to reevaluate how I looked at college ball. And like how my beef, and it's still the same, that no names are really ringing bells, anything like that. But it's almost like comparable to hip hop. Like, you know, when you really look at hip hop from afar, you really only got cats like J. Cole and Kendrick and Drake. You know, if you're not into down south Future stuff. But once you really start digging, you see, you know, Royce and Primo's group, Prime, had a banging album. And you see, you know, cats here and there. You kind of got to dig a little deeper. And I realized, and that's where college ball is now. What really sparked me back up was that Kansas-Oklahoma 3-time game.
Talk about it.
That's what did it. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is Buddy Hield dropping 46 points in the house? Like, yo, who's this dude? You know, and again, even after that game, his name really didn't ring out. Like, this dude almost dropped 50 points in Allen Fieldhouse. Like, and his name isn't ringing out. But that game kind of made me realize, like, yo, it's dope players out here, but they're not gonna have those Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace, Iverson, Marbury type names like that. So it kind of made me start looking at, you know, the younger dudes whose names really don't ring bells, but dudes who got game. And it got to the point where I was just excited about, you know, watching, like, even with the Cavs game. When you text me, I was watching the Duke-Syracuse game.
Yeah.
And for me to be watching Duke-Syracuse over Golden State, Cleveland, you know, says a lot. But with the number one teams, I mean, again, with people with these one and dones and everything like that, the playing field is so even right now. Like, I'm not going to be at the point to say that it could happen this year. But if college basketball stays the way it is right now, it won't be long until we see a number one lose to a number 16.
Yeah.
We've seen a 15 beat a number 2. We've never seen a 16 beat a 1. But if it stays right here like now, and the exciting thing to me too is that there are games when in the past I would have been like, I don't want to watch Kansas and Oklahoma State. Kansas is gonna stop them. And then I look up and I'm like, damn, Oklahoma State won. Like, you should have won. And 10 years ago I wouldn't even watched. Now I'm like, yo, I need to watch. I need to watch every game because I never thought Syracuse would beat Duke. I never thought Duke would be on a 3-game losing streak. You know, I'm loving it. But
dude, I love it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. But, you know, again, a couple of years ago, a Duke-NC State game wasn't important, whereas now that's an important game because NC State could beat Duke. So I think that's the thing that with everything panning out and the one and dones, and then you have these teams who've been playing together for 4 years and they know each other. And I'm looking up in Kentucky's ranked number 23. I'm like, damn, yo, it's a hard knock life out here. When Kentucky,
it's hard. It's hard. You know. It's hard. So when you look at that group of teams, when you look at some of the teams who are number one this year or close to number one, you're talking about Oklahoma, you're talking about North Carolina, Kansas, Maryland, Kentucky, Michigan State, Villanova. Which one of those teams, if you project out 15, 20 games from now, do you see who will be your top 4 seeds going to the NCAA tournament right now if you had to project it out?
Oh, God, I probably would say Carolina, Kansas, Oklahoma, and maybe Iowa.
Maybe Iowa. I mean, Iowa, they play stingy defense, man. They play tough, well coached, balanced roster. They're definitely a tough team. You know, UNC, man, I just can't fall back in love with that team for some reason. You know, it's one of the storied franchises in college basketball. You have one of the more famous, accomplished coaches on the sideline, and Roy Williams. It's just something about them, man. I don't know if it's the type of player they're recruiting now. It's just very, very different. But definitely Maryland, they have the good point guard play, and as you know, point guard play is what really matters come tournament time. I just think Kansas' Achilles heel is they have the kid Ellis, who's been there like 17 years. He's like an 18-year senior. You know
Yo,
what I mean?
first of all,
He's been there forever.
that nigga Ellis looks like he should be somewhere in high school science, for the past 20 years.
Yo, Denzel Valentine, excuse me, of Michigan State. He the same way. Like, yo, he's like an 11-year senior, man. It's like,
Yeah,
yo, how these dudes still in college? They're like 41 going
right,
into the draft next year. But
right.
I,
And see,
I definitely,
Michigan State, now that Valentine is back, I don't know. We got to give them an asterisk and give them a pass because their best player was going for a minute. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it wasn't no mistake to me that they fell from number one.
How about on a local side? How about Villanova? What do you think of their tournament prospects are? I mean, obviously the last few years there's been a lot of disappointment. I don't think the fire's turned up on Jay Wright, but I think there's been a couple, second round exits when they've been the number 1 seed or number 2 seed. So definitely a lot of pressure there. What's your thoughts on Villanova?
I just think Villanova shoots the three entirely too much. These dudes, that's all they do is shoot the three. And I'm just like, I know Jay has always been a guard-oriented team from the Mike Nardi days and the Allen Ray days and,
Alvin Williams and all. Yeah.
It's always been a guard-heavy team. But just because you're guard-heavy, just like Arizona used to be under Lute, doesn't mean you got to shoot threes all the damn time. And it's like, that's all Jay Wright wants to do. My only thing with Jay, I mean, I just don't know who Villanova. To me, he's one of those like captivating coaches. You know what I mean? So it's like you fired Jay, dog. I mean, who's gonna come in? That's a smooth dude. You know what I mean? I know Nova's always been a basketball team. I just don't know if they fire a dude like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if they fire him, but the problem is Jay can't have many more number 1 seed, number 2 seeds,
And then get
second round exits. I mean, at the end of the day, Villanova basketball is the straw that stirs the drink for that university in terms of being a revenue producer. I mean, you're right. Jay name rings bell. He's a huge profile. I'll be honest with you. At one point, I wanted him to be the next Sixer coach. I mean, several years back, I was hoping that he would make that transition to the bench. But I mean, his lack of tournament success, and if we move it to the inner city, I feel the same way about Fran Dunphy at Temple. I think Fran, he wins 20 games a year, but he just hasn't had that tournament success like his predecessor. Now, obviously, his predecessor is a Hall of Famer, John Chaney, a legend, but he has to get it done. And then furthermore, Dunphy, man, he can't recruit the city, Kill. He cannot recruit the city, man. Right now, Roman Catholic is a top 10 high school basketball team in the country, not just in Philadelphia. And they're a top 10 team in the country. Their top 4 players are all going to Penn State. You just can't have that in Philadelphia.
I think
He has to be able to win the recruiting battle in Philadelphia.
hold tight.
Right there,
You said they're going to Penn State?
they're going to Penn State. Yo, Penn State. Penn State has a coach with local ties, McCafferty.
Yo.
He's making a lot of moves.
Yo, when
He's making a lot of
when you
moves.
lose your players to Penn State, there's a problem. There's a big problem, man. But
Yeah, it's a big
I
problem.
think the hard part with Temple is, to be honest, Temple name really with basketball ain't rang bells like that since Aaron and Eddie. And we going back to what, 95, 96? So these dudes really ain't rang no bells like that for almost the past 20 years.
I mean, I think with pro players, that's true. But
But I mean,
the
not
worst.
with pro players, but just that Temple getting into the tournament and people thinking Temple could really. Who really thinks that Temple is gonna really do anything in the tournament? I haven't seen anybody's brackets in years that have had Temple going anywhere past the Sweet 16, if that.
Well, that's answering my point because they're always going in a tournament that 8, 9 seed, 11, 12 seed, where they're just getting that bad draw and not having that success. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's part of Dunn's problem is he hasn't been able to get that one signature recruit to come to that university. Like, obviously he's not going to be able to get a top 100 class every year, but he has to get that one signature recruit especially in a city like Philadelphia, where you have a geographical draw that's pretty far. Got to get that. Got to get that one guy to go there. Got to get that. Actually, I think there's a few coaches in Philadelphia that has to. I think Bruiser Flint at Drexel. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of challenges there because of the academic excellence of the school. You just can't. Every kid, you can't go there. Let's be honest.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your top tier basketball players can't qualify to get into Drexel, and as a university, they're not willing to relax their academic standards to allow these kids to come there. So there's definitely some challenges there. But so I definitely think some of the coaches here in Philadelphia are definitely on the hot seat in terms of basketball in the Big Five in Philadelphia. So
I tell you this though, you know who I really like? I like the boy Melo Trimble at Maryland.
Melo's a strong player. I like Melo a lot. He's proven that the success as a freshman last year was not a fluke. Definitely a strong sophomore campaign. He's actually somebody that for the Sixers, if we get that first round pick, maybe in the teens, early teens, somewhere around there, he would be someone that I would definitely target if he was to declare for the draft this year. He's definitely somebody that I would keep my eye on. I mean, he's listed at 6'3", 185 pounds. He doesn't look that size. I would probably say he goes to the comp. He's probably 6'1", 180, but he's definitely someone I would look at the point guard position with our lower first round pick. Obviously, the first round pick is Simmons or bust. I mean,
Right.
there's just bottom line, Simmons or bust. But I also like the kid Jalen Brown out of Cal a lot too. He's a very good player.
And I've been watching the dude you told me about at Duke too.
Oh yeah, Ingram's. I mean, look here. He's I guess in a lot of ways. If you remember Jonathan Bender at Indiana, remember he's real
Yeah.
skinny.
Yeah.
He's what Jonathan Bender probably could have been if he didn't have that devastating knee injury. So I mean, he's that Kevin Durant mode of that 6'9", 6'10" shooting guard. Not as a prolific scorer and shooter as Durant, but who is at that position. But he's definitely a solid player. I mean, traditionally, I hate Duke players. They make shitty NBA players,
Right.
but I think he's definitely a special talent with the size and skill that he brings to the table.
All right. Let me tell you this, B. You ever watch this show, Housewives of the Potomac?
No, I never watched that, brother.
All right. So the other day, and I just so everybody knows, I don't do the housewife shows, but my wife watches them. So she's watching the show, and I'm in the bedroom with her, and one of the chicks is like, "Yeah, I used to be married to Jamal Bryant." Now
Okay.
Jamal Bryant is a big pastor that's out here in Baltimore, and she kind of blew up the spot on him because dude cheated on her with this shorty from his congregation and ended up getting shorty pregnant. So she bounced with the kids or whatever like that. But now me and T know Jamal just from being at the radio station, used to have a show, whatever. And so it kind of got me into it because I was like, damn, she really blown up the spot on dude.
Okay.
And she introduces one of her girlfriends who's like, yeah, people always thought we were sisters. We both light skinned, green eyes, long hair, whatever. Come to find out, this is Juan Dixon from Maryland, his ex-wife.
Mm.
Now, here's the crazy part. Her and Juan are divorced, but still live in the same house to raise their kids and even sleep in the same bed. It's dysfunctional as shit. So if you just are ever in the mood for some dysfunctional shit, watch the Housewives of the Potomac, because as soon as I saw it, I like tweeted out like, yo, Juan, word, like this is where we at, bro. Like you were part of this reality TV world. It's that bad. Like, I mean, I know the NBA career ain't paying out, and I know you like a special assistant to the head coach over there in Maryland, but you gotta do the reality. You gotta do this. You gotta go this lane like that. To me, when you're on a reality show, it's almost like screaming, I'm broke. It's like, help me, I'm poor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this that's sad, man. I didn't know nothing about that. I like you don't keep up with the Housewives show. You know what I mean? I did watch the original one, the Real Housewives of OC. Going back, I was hooked, man. But then after that, you really quickly realize that it ain't reality. You know what I mean? It's all
Right.
staged, it's all fixed, and now all these people they're just grasping at fame. So I kind of fell back. with that whole thing. But I mean, Juan Dixon, man, you're right. That's sad, man. Dude, you played 6 years in the league. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you knew that you wasn't that type of player that was going to play forever. You know, I'm looking at your stats, and you made about $13 million in your career. So, you know what I mean? You made a little change. So hopefully, you know, you did right with it. But the whole you divorce and living in the same crib, nah,
It's crazy. Be like I
nah,
said,
nah.
if you going be check out. And the funny thing was, is I didn't expect. I was like, okay, maybe this dude gonna do a Fab the way Fab girl Emily is on Love and Hip Hop, but Fab ain't never been on there. Nah, Juan is on the first episode. I was like, well, maybe let me get aboard the benefit of the doubt. He like, yo, you do your thing. You my ex-wife. I can't hold you on that. Nah, he on the episode, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And another one of the wives is Eddie Jordan, the old Sixers and Wizard coach.
Yeah.
His wife is on it.
Word?
Yeah, his wife. So that's what kind of got me hooked in that first episode, because I'm like, okay, I always rock with Eddie. I rocked with Eddie when he was down here in DC and thought he got a raw deal. You know what I'm saying? When they fired him down here. So I'm like, okay, let me
hold on. Let me stop you right there. Dude, I'm a big proponent of black coaches getting their opportunity. Yo, he's one of the worst fucking coaches I've ever seen in my life. Okay, yo, he's one of the worst coaches I've ever seen.
I didn't say he was a great coach. I said I felt like he got a raw deal because I think that year, like Arenas and Jameson was hurt, and I'm like, you know, how you gonna fire the boy and the 2-star players are hurt? That's all I was saying. I didn't say he was a great coach. I didn't say his name's going down history. You know what I mean? I just thought that he got a raw
deal. No. Let me correct you. His name is going down in history as one of the worst fucking coaches that ever coached in the NBA. That's the history is going down. All right. So if we had to make a top 10 list of worst coaches, he makes the list.
What? Tell me this, bro. What makes him one of the worst coaches ever?
Like a coach who comes to a team, Sixers, and says, "Yo, I'm going to run this Princeton offense."
All right. That's all. I forgot.
Yeah. Thank you. Say no more. No more. You know what I mean? Like that was just. I mean, he's up in the pantheon of bad coaches like Doug Moe.
Well, hold tight. Okay, he came in and said, "I'm gonna run an offense that doesn't basically fit." But then we give Mike D'Antonio a pass when he tried that 7 seconds or less up in New York with Raymond Felton running the point. That's what most coaches do. They have one style of coaching, and they come to a team, and no matter if the team has the personnel that's needed to run that system, that's what they do. That's what they doing in New York. Them niggas, to run the triangle, you have to have a high basketball IQ. 90% of the players in the NBA are fucking basketball IQ retarded. So you can't run the triangle. So I feel like all these coaches, well, the bulk of these coaches are one-trick ponies. I got one trick, and that's all I got. So Phil and his disciples got the triangle. D'Antonio got just run quick. And so, I mean, I feel you on the Princeton thing, but does that necessarily make you a bad coach because you're a one-trick pony?
Yes.
Okay, so
a job of a coach. Yeah, dude, trust me. You're never going to get an argument from me that D'Antonio ain't not a bad coach. Okay. If you just start the argument with, yo, do you think D'Antonio is a bad coach? I say yes. Moving on. You know what I mean? He's a terrible coach.
Right, so I'm just saying. So you don't like the bulk of the coaches because the bulk of these coaches are one-trick ponies.
Why are you gonna take a bunch of round parts and try to squeeze into this square hole? You can't do that. A good coach assesses his players' talents and then adjusts what he does to fit his players' talents.
I agree.
You don't force it. You don't force it into it. So you know what? If I want to run this tempo style, but my point guard is a 260-pound Raymond Felton, that might not be the best idea for me. You know what I mean? Derek Fisher. You know, I'm going to run this triangle offense in New York.
What did Kobe say? Look like a square? Like I don't know what they're out
dude, here. And I think you mentioned earlier about who's coaching? Dave Blatt or LeBron? Do you watch the New York Knicks timeouts? It'd be timeouts where Derek Fisher is not even in the huddle. Like he's fixing his tie. He's looking at his watch.
This dude looking over his shoulder to make sure Matt Barnes ain't in the stadium.
That boy.
Quiet as set.
That dude don't be nowhere near. Like he's giving my name a bad name. You know what I mean? So So
All
it's
right, so
crazy.
okay, so what we're both saying is then the NBA has a lot of bad coaches.
It has a lot of bad coaches. A lot of bad coaches, and part of the reason. Part of the reason is it's this fraternal good old boy network where names and people are just recycled. You know,
Right.
that's why I love what Danny Ainge did. Like he saw a young, talented coach in Stevens at Butler who didn't have an NBA pedigree. I mean, let's face it, this dude Stevens was selling insurance 10 years ago. So I mean, he saw him, he saw the system that he run, the success that he had against the perennial powers, with the type of player that he had, and says, "Yo, bottom line, that guy can coach. Period." Excuse me, that guy can coach. Period. Took a chance on him. And you're seeing what he's doing in Boston. You're seeing the fruits of his talents in Boston as he's slowly developing and building a base there for future success. So, but NBA teams are so hesitant to do that. They just keep going to this recycle bin of recycling these names, and it's just old and it's tired, man. It's just old and tired. So if the NBA
About
GMs
recycling.
say again.
Would you say?
Oh no,
No,
say that one
I'm saying.
more about recycled coaches.
Oh no, I was gonna say since we're talking about recycling coaches and new coaches and all that.
Hmm.
Tell me this? How do you feel about the Eagles' new coach, Doug Peterson? I mean, I know we were waiting. Know, I was hitting you about Sean Payton. Tom Coughlin took his name out of the running and told me to, dude. It seems like okay, we fired Andy Reid. Andy Reid, 20 years younger. So how do you and what is the vibe of this coach? What's the vibe of Philly right now with this coaching hire?
I'm gonna answer that like this. Did, did you hear that silence? that's
I heard the silence.
that's the mood and tone and tenor in Philadelphia. And here's the thing. Um, People say, Derek, how do you feel about the Doug Peterson hire? Ultimately, I can't bash it, base it on these grounds. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what type of coach he's going to be. He's not a career coordinator. He's not a former head coach. So, does he have the pedigree that we typically see with our coaches? He wasn't the hot college name. He wasn't the hot coordinator calling his own plays. He wasn't. But then again, Andy Reid, when he came to us as the quarterback coach at Green Bay, and he came to Philadelphia, and he's arguably the best coach in Eagles franchise history. So from that standpoint, you kind of got to take a wait and see approach. When they had the introductory press conference, I wanted to see a few things. I wanted to see a man get up there and own that press conference. Be a leader, be decisive, um, be resolute in his stance, how he answered questions, control the room. I saw none of that from him. I saw someone who was basically a mouthpiece for the organization, a mouthpiece for the owner Jeffrey Lurie, a mouthpiece for GM Howie Roseman, someone who they're handpicking his staff for him, and he's just there. So my biggest beef to the Eagles is, this whole process was a sham on the fans of Philadelphia. They knew who they wanted to hire from the beginning, and they just kind of went through the paces. It was a sham. My thing is, why not promote Deuce Staley to head coach? And say, Deuce, we're going to bring in two veteran coordinators. You still could have hired Jim Schwartz. You still could have hired Frank Reich to be the offensive coordinator, and give him two experienced coordinators, one with previous head coaching experience, and just build the roster over so that in 2 or 3 years, if Deuce gets better, he grows into the role, he earns to keep the job, keep him there. If not, bring in that coach at that point to get us over the next level. But to bring this dude in, man, it's just a bad, bad hire. I think they were so burned by Chip Kelly. Jeffrey Lurie stuck his hand on that pot. He got burned so bad that he went the other way. It's like having that girlfriend who was, a dominant personality, bossy, this and that. And then you go to the far extreme and you get the girl who, what you want to eat tonight? Whatever you like. Where you want to go? Wherever you like, that he went from one extreme to the other, and that's not what the organization needed. That's not what the team needed. And then in Philadelphia, man, this is Philadelphia, dog. Blue collar town. People see through fakeness here. They see when you're not authentic. He just doesn't ring true, man. He just doesn't ring true, and it's just I think it's a bad situation to have right now. I think it's just a bad situation. It was a bad hire. But I will say this one more point and I'll let you go. Here's the thing though. None of these candidates excited me. I have to be honest. There were 7 coaching job openings this year, and I think in the NFL. I was a big Hugh Jackson fan. But really the only name that excited me out there, but his name really never got floated, was Davis Shaw, who was the coach at Stanford University. Like, yo, I would have backed up the truck for him and said, look, come over here, do your thing. But other than that, there wasn't really nobody out there who really excited me. I mean, Adam Gase, he was the hot name out there. I wasn't excited about him. So there really was no names out there. So like I said, I probably would have promoted Deuce and went that route. But I'm telling you, man, I mean, sports talk radio is dead. Newspapers is dead. I mean, people are just like, you know what I mean? It's like you see a movie, it's just okay. Yo, Fish, how was that movie? You know what I mean? That's everybody's opinion. So it's sad right now, man. It's like Philly sports, dog. Your hometown sports is dying right now, man.
Now I feel you, bro, but I'm hoping, money is butted in Chip Kelly. I'm hoping the Sixers clean up their act. I'm hoping the Lakers keep winning some games so we can keep their first round pick. And hopefully something will change. But let's end with this, bro. I just saw this Basketball Forever on Twitter just tweeted out something saying since Anthony Davis wasn't voted an all-star starter, he now needs to make an all-NBA or win MVP, or he'll lose $23 million. The D Rose rule, what that rule is, if you're not a 2-time All-Star starter, 2-time All NBA or MVP on your rookie contract, if you do those things, you can earn 30% more on your next contract. For Anthony Davis, that's $23 million.
Okay. Here's the thing, dog.
I'm blown. I didn't even know. I mean, I know we've had, bonuses if you do this, if you do that. I didn't even know there was a D Rose rule. I never heard of this before. And I'm like, damn, this dude could mess around and does this dude now put on the blinders and just go for his? Because I don't think he's going to let $23 million float away. So coming back after this, are we going to see a new Anthony Davis who's just beasting out, who's not passing the ball, who's just going for his?
I knew about the D Rose rule. I thought the rule applied going into the new deal. So I thought when he signed a new deal, there were no type of kickers in it like that. But being as though that's the case, I think having a kicker in your contract that's tied to the All-Star game voting of being a starter, I think it's faulty right there. Because Kobe Bryant is starting the All-Star game.
Right.
So if you're telling me that Kobe Bryant is the reason why Anthony Davis is going to make $23 million this year,
right?
Come on, man. Like, you need to fire your agent. You know what I mean? Like, nothing should be tied to that. But I think when you look at the spirit of what the rule is, it's that, man. He's that cornerstone player who far exceeds that rookie contract that you can go above and beyond, 30% beyond what the normal extension would be to sign that player. I mean, he checks all of the boxes. He won't, unless he averages 40 and 20 in the second half, there's no way he's going to get an MVP. The team probably won't make the playoffs. I think the GM came out, I think it was just earlier this week, he came out and pretty much said, yo, we're open for business. We're sellers. Line them up. So, Tariq, Eric Gordon, Ashik, I think Anderson is the last year of his deal. Would probably be a very intriguing trade partner. Maybe Cleveland gives him a call. You never know. So I think, I think it's impossible that he gets an MVP this year. So if he loses $35 million, I think Kobe needs to write him a check.
Well, I'm just like, that's a hell of a, I don't know. I'm just like, what is your focus? Like I said, does he just be like, look, I'm going for mine?
Nah.
I got to make this all. Well, here's a better question. Do you think he makes the all NBA squad? Because he's not getting MVP. So we could dead that. So The only hope that's left is he makes All NBA.
All NBA first team. I think if Golden State has similar success, well, I'm assuming they'll have similar success over the second half, and Draymond Green maintains the numbers that he's putting up right now. I think it's going to be hard to really knock him off that one forward spot. Um, there's an outside chance. I mean, I think the center position might be open, so maybe he slides in that way. It's going to be tough, Kel. It's going to be real tough, man. I think it's going to be a game of numbers. I mean, we're talking Anthony Davis averaging 23, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, blocks, still shooting a high percentage. Add the 3-point to his game. I mean, there's nothing that he can do more than what he's doing. I mean, he's still an unstoppable force. Basically a 7-foot small forward, post up, handle the ball, does it all. I mean, I still think in 2 years he's the best player in the NBA. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, Golden State is having a historic year, and if they're able to match or come close to Chicago's season, and Draymond Green keeps up to 17 points, I mean, he's almost averaging a triple-double.
I mean, because let's look at it like this. From now, we know Curry is going to make it. We know Bron is going to make it. We know Kawhi is going to make it.
Yep. So then you're talking 2 more spots. And like I said, not to beat a dead horse, I think Draymond's going to get that spot this year. I mean, if he keeps up 16 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, the team wins 70, 71 games. I mean, how do you make an argument to keep him off at that point?
Right.
I mean,
right.
It's going. How am I going to be able to make an argument that he's not a top 10 player at that point?
You can't make an argument now, bro. You can't now, so you really can't make it later.
How going to be the argument?
You might as well join the squad now, but yeah, so that's messed up and that's a good way to put it. Kobe just robbed him of $23 million. So
yeah, Kobe, he's worth about $250 million. So he could spare a couple shekels. I mean, he can cut him a check.
All right, no doubt, man. Another dope show, man. Numbers on the board. Check us out. We'll make beats for food.com. Fish, you ever gonna get on Twitter, man?
I'm on Twitter, DTFisher92. Hit me up. I'm getting more active with it. Kill is dragging me down to that finish line, so I'm about to get it popping. So look out for some tweets in the near future.
All right, no doubt. You already know what it is with me at Kill889. We'll make beats for food. I'll check you out next week, bro.
All right, good job, family.
All right.